All right, so our next step is to try and kind of apply the skills that we saw from the video to a more complex shape. All right, so we're going to look at different chess pieces that we can use. Now, at first glance, these little chess pieces aren't very complex, but it will be a good chance to really kind of apply that strategy of looking at an object and breaking it down into really just basic fundamental shapes. Okay, so I'm going to kind of pop this guy there as a guide. I'm going to enlarge this, so I'm not going to be tracing this little chess piece, but I am going to kind of leave it here just so I can kind of start to see the perspective, and you guys can kind of see how I'm doing. Now, I'm sure a lot of you, when you guys were doing your shoe drawings, kind of just started in one place and just tried to go around the whole contour of a shoe from one line to the other. And that can be a very challenging way to draw accurately. So that's why in the video, you kind of broke it down. You want to kind of invest a little time at the forefront of a drawing with really simple kind of angles and lines where it's easy to change things. Once you know you have the foundation and the kind of angles correct, then you're going to kind of go and refine from there. So as I look at this chess piece, essentially the bottom is kind of like a rectangle shape. All right, so I'm going to kind of go ahead and do that basic rectangle. I've got kind of a vertical kind of piece here happening. And then I've got kind of another little square on top. All right. You'll notice I'm drawing very lightly. Ooh, almost too lightly for you guys to see. So let me darken those lines up just a little bit. I'm kind of sketching these out. I'm not getting a ruler. I'm not like sweating if the lines aren't perfect at this stage, because this is just a preliminary sketch. All right. You are going to have to kind of learn to control the pressure of your pencil and sketch very lightly as you begin. Just one quick note, I know a lot of you guys love using mechanical pencils, but they are super hard and they will kind of scratch your paper. So you are going to be better off if you can switch to a traditional like number 2 pencil. I'll leave some out so you guys can use some if you need them. All right, so now once I have this basic kind of building block, now I can start to see, oh, maybe this is a little too small or too wide. Maybe this is a little bit too big. And I can kind of start adjusting from there, okay? So let's say, yeah, you know what, perspective-wise, this maybe is a little bit too tall. So I only want it to come up here. I can quickly just adjust those lines as necessary, all right? Once I'm generally happy with it, then I can start to observe, use that right brain and kind of see, well, this is not a vertical line. This is angled in a little bit. So now I can start to kind of modify that, kind of adjust that angle so it goes in. This is not flat across the bottom. This is a rounded shape. So I can kind of add that curve to make it appear like it's sitting on the table. I can see it's kind of curved up here as well. So I'm going to kind of sketch that curve in. It kind of flares out, it comes in and goes out. So I'm going to kind of pull that line in and then send it back out. And you can see my lines here are very, very sketchy. I'm drawing lightly until I'm happy with things, and I can erase and adjust as needed. All right. So I've kind of got this line. I can start to kind of make those transitions between the shapes happen when I'm kind of satisfied with how they're coming together. I've got a band that comes out here, so I can kind of show that, right? Oh, they're not even. Oh, no problem. I can just pull that in, pull this one out, and kind of keep going. Okay, kind of curving those lines will help show that depth. At the top, it's not flat now, it's rounded, so I can make that kind of rounded adjustment. I can check to make sure it's in line over the rest of the piece. And then I can start to see, oh, it actually kind of tapers in like that. Okay, so this was just a super quick demonstration. You guys are going to be doing at least 2 chess pieces Once you've had a chance to practice with that, then I want you to try something a little bit more complex, like your hand. I'll demo that again, probably next class, once you've had a chance to practice this a little bit. This is going to really be the final key that will set you up for more success when you go to do that second drawing of your shoe. Remember, we did the first one that was like our before drawing? You're going to be doing that again as a summative this time that applies all of these strategies that you learned. So when you sit down to do that shoe drawing a second time, I don't want to see you, kind of start at one side and try to draw that shoe and do the laces all the way around, because it's going to look like a Muppet shoe, right? If you kind of apply this idea of breaking it down into basic shapes, I think you'll be much more satisfied with your perspective and kind of with the ratios of how the whole shoe looks. So we're going to practice this, like I said, with 2 chess pieces. I've got a whole variety, so I would encourage you to try 2 different chess pieces and kind of see how you can break it down into really simple shapes that you can then refine to get to that complex end result. Okay?